I'm very sorry that you didn't get the message.
Me too. But I get it now. I get it. I dig it.
What about now? You get the message now?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm cool.
All right. Give me your left arm.
Huh?
Your left arm. Give me your left arm. This one.
No.
Yeah, come on.
No. No.
Did you cut yourself?
I'm dealing with an injury.
Right. Look, when you're talking to your doctor, just tell him you have a spiral fracture of the left radius.
No. No.
Deep breath.
No.
Welcome to episode 69 of Down to Watch. This is the podcast that asks, are you down to watch? I'm your host, Kahmeela, and let me introduce my guest co-host for this Ryan Gosling adventure, Marcella.
Hello. You said 69.
I know. 69. So please don't let the bad Beavis and Butthead impressions dissuade you. Don't turn it off. Stop. Keep playing. So Down to Watch can be found on anchor.fm and Spotify. So please make sure you follow the show there. Also, always, there's going to be spoilers about these films that we're doing, because most of them are not in the theater right now and they're pretty old and, whatevs. So we are continuing the Hey Girl edition where we're going through Ryan Gosling's filmography. But before we get into what film we have today, a little Ryan news, not necessarily Ryan, but more Ryan adjacent. Not even really news, just more like kind of gossip, because I have a Google alert for Ryan to show up. I get these things in my email, and this came up about, I guess, Eva Mendes was getting some flack because she took some time off from Instagram and she came back to post something or whatever, and people were thinking that a fan accused her of having some work done and that didn't go well, and that's why she wasn't on Instagram.
So stupid.
I know. It's so dumb. And her reasoning for being off of Instagram so much is because she wanted to be more present for her kids, which I get it. It takes a lot of time to craft a decent IG post, especially if you're a celebrity and people look for this certain type of standard from you. But she never addressed whether or not she got work done. And I didn't see any photo. I didn't look for any before or after photos, and I don't know. I don't care that much. It's just
I don't care.
I needed something to fill this. I needed something to fill the spot. So.
I just don't care about her enough to.
No, I don't follow her. I don't. It's fine. I'm very happy for you and your blessed union with Ryan. So let's get on with the show.
We have a movie I like.
Yay! Nice Guys. Oh, I missed what year it was. Released in 2016. Directed by Shane Black. Written by Shane Black and Anthony Bagarozzi. Starring Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, and Gory Rice, Matt Bomer, Kim Basinger, Yaya DaCosta, and Keith David, and some other people that I didn't care about. Our history with the movie, I had seen it maybe once before, and I remember really enjoying it. And this time, it just really solidified that, yeah. And
I had never seen it before. I had a copy of it. I swear I got it for signing up for Flickster or something. So I've always had a copy of it. I've just never sat down to watch it. And boy, did I miss out on something pretty great.
Yes, it's an amazing movie.
Really like it.
First of all, when I started watching it again, I didn't register that this was a Shane Black production again, and then instantly I was like, this reminds me of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and then I looked, it's oh, Shane Black, of course. And he has I can't articulate it, but he has a specific style. He does. There's something that he's doing. I don't know if it's just this old Hollywood trying to tell a film noir, trying to make everything kind of film noir
Does it well though, because it feels like this time period.
Right.
It doesn't look like a movie trying to be set in this time period. It looks like that. Like at first I was like, when is this? I was confused for a second, for a split second. And then I was like, oh, this is like, I was a baby. Like I think I was 2
I was a year
or
old.
something when this is set.
Oh, and I forgot to do the plot summary. It's in 1970s Los Angeles, a mismatched pair of private eye investigate. Let's try this again. In 1977, Los Angeles, a mismatched pair of private eyes investigate a missing girl and the mysterious death of a porn star.
Which is it's a very convoluted plot.
It's so convoluted. halfway.
It took me a while to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, like halfway through, I'm like, why are we looking for this girl? Why is this important? And even still, like once it was I'm still not what I was. It was like, oh. At the time.
Well, and my major confusion surrounded around Ryan Gosling is looking for this girl, Amelia, who Russell Crowe is working for.
Right.
So right off the bat, I was like, but you just work. Do you not have her phone number?
Right.
You work for her. Why can't you just call her and be like, hey,
right,
I need to see you?
Yeah.
But this movie's funny.
It's so
like,
funny.
I had so many like out and out. I had to pause it once because I was laughing so hard. Mainly because Ryan can shriek.
Yes. He's very good at the shrieking.
And it's so unexpected. It's so high pitched.
Like when he and Russell first meet and Russell goes and like breaks his arm. No.
And then he screams.
The scream that he lets out, and it's long and uncomfortable, and you can like feel it. It's like I can feel the break. I can feel that break.
Once again, I live in a time hole because right off the bat I was like, why does he have like a 13-year-old daughter? He's like 20. I'm like, oh wait. No. And then I had to ask Alexa how old he was. I was like, shit, he's 40.
He's 40.
He could totally have this age child.
Yeah, because I was confused. I didn't do the work, but I was like, is he old enough here to have a 13-year-old?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it hurt my feelings.
Right, yeah. It's like, wow, yeah, I could totally have like an entire grown-ass child right now. Like a 25-year-old.
I have to keep reminding myself I'm closer to 50 than I am 30.
Like I could have a 25-year-old kid. Like
right. That makes me want to throw up.
But yeah, like the comedy in this is great. Like you don't expect it, I guess, from Russell Crowe, and he's not really funny. He's a straight guy, obviously.
He's so fat.
He purposefully gained some weight.
So fat. I hate when actors do that to themselves. Like that is not good for your body to go from Gladiator.
How long ago was Gladiator from this movie?
True. But like,
and that was probably the natural progression anyway, because he was like what in his 20s for Gladiator.
Well, Virtuosity was the first time I saw him, which I loved him in Virtuosity. And then like he became a big name after some other hits, and then Gladiator, and it was like, wow, this Russell Crowe guy is super hot. Beautiful mind, still nice and trim. Then he kind of disappeared for a while. I guess when you have an ill-advised romance with Meg Ryan, that happens to you.
That, and also like didn't he have like anger issues that people were like
lots? Like I think he was punching people in bars.
Yeah, I think it was probably a lot of what he couldn't be insured or something for a time period on set, and they're just like, yo.
But in here, I was just like, "Oh, you are not the Russell Crowe of before," which is weird because from like the elbows up, he kind of does look like Gladiator, but from the waist down, very different.
Yes, well, he gained the weight because he thought his character would be heavy, physically and mentally, just
and is he a private eye or is he just a bully?
I think he's just a bully. I think that's the thing. It was like, he was on the cover, like there was a shot of him on the cover of some magazine. It was like tough guy or whatever, and I think he just
professional tough guy.
Yeah, I think he just beats people up for money, which is kind of what he told Ryan's daughter at the bowling alley. She's like, can you beat up my friend? Which that's another, like, And and I guess when he's in comedic roles, Ryan does this shtick is a lot, but like, where it's just a certain way that he speaks to people, like when he gets really agitated. And when he says, like, it's in the bowling alley with the kids and they're all screaming, he's like, Jesus Christ, one at a time. And then the girl's just like, you took the Lord's name in vain. And he's like, no, I didn't, Janet.
I used it for emphasis or something. I used it properly.
Like, yeah, exactly. It was like, I didn't take it in vain. It was like, I felt really good about it or something like that.
One of my favorites. What it is for me is he doesn't talk to them like they're children.
Right.
He just talks to them like they're adults. Like
Right.
when he gets when he's in the car with his daughter and he's like asking her something, he's like, fuck it, just drive. And she's the one driving home.
Right. She's 13.
She's 13, but she's the one driving home.
Um,
And she's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. She's very good.
Precocious little. She's insane. She keeps putting herself in situations that she shouldn't.
Right.
But right off the bat, when he goes to break in to the bar where
Oh my God.
he thinks that there's this receipt that will tell him where
Right.
Amelia is, and he breaks the glass out and damn near kills himself.
That was
You know that
beautiful.
he's going to be a hot mess
Right.
this whole movie.
That is such a beautiful, like, 3 minutes of film. Because, like, where he carefully wraps his hand to punch, and then, like, the wrapping comes off a little bit, and then he fixes it, and then he goes and punches, and then he just fucking slices his wrist. It's like, oh.
He's like, that's a lot of blood. That's a lot of blood. And he's starting to get weak and starting to pass out.
It's
And remember, this is the 70s. It's not like he just had a phone
Right.
that he could just call 911.
right. Did he just, like, stumble to a hospital somewhere?
But they take him to. He ends up like being wheeled out by this nurse who's asking him about if he found God.
Right.
He's like all doped up.
He's like, I'm looking for Amelia.
So many funny things
So
happening.
many. I mean, it's so good. I really would like to see him in more comedic roles like this, or at least just more subtle, because like we get to see it too in like Crazy Stupid Love a little bit. This is just like, I think this is probably the only one that's just like all out, just like fully. I'm
full
belly
out.
laughing from everything that he does.
There's a really weird scene that it didn't fit in with the rest of the movie, but it made me laugh really hard. It's the one and only kind of glimpse we get into Jack's life,
Mm.
and it's with his. I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend. It was just like, I'm fucking your dad.
Right.
And he's telling like this story about how he is and that this is just something that's happened to him.
Right. Yeah, this is like, the plot is really not there for me, or it's just it's just too much twisting and turning, or it's not clear enough as to why it's very important, why what they're doing is so damn important. This seems to me more like a film about the characters in itself, which is fine, which is great. Like I'm totally happy with their mission being secondary as opposed
But like,
to like,
who are the people that come to beat Jack up? That he ends up getting the dye pack. The guy gets the blue dye pack in his face. Why are they? Who do they work for?
yeah, I have no John. I don't know.
Kim Basinger.
Yeah, I
Ooh, random.
right. Yeah, and she's kind of boring.
She did not fit in this.
No.
She looked way too modern for one,
Mm-hmm.
and she just wasn't. There was nothing to her.
No, she was very bland, and I think that was the problem. I think she probably laid out to us, the audience, as to what was going on and why it was important, and I just stopped listening
Yep.
because I was more interested in Ryan taking notes. Porn, bad.
Well, and these hitmen are so inept. Like, I can't believe he kept throwing his fish at Jack. Like,
So rude.
so rude.
I'm like, how dare you, sir?
And that poor fish. Can somebody pick that fish up?
I know
It's like, I'm like, pick that fish up.
It's like, please, just pick the fish up and put it back in the tank. And so, yeah, and out of nowhere, we get Keith David, who
Never ages.
I know, but for the longest
He's
time.
been a 60-year-old black man my whole life.
Yes. What was he in? Like, it was in like the first movie that I can think of as with Kurt Russell. There's like snow and stuff. What is that like?
Enemy
Not
Mine?
not the
Wasn't that?
fog. Not the fog. Or was it the fog? I'm pretty sure it's like early '80s film. But
Keith David is the person I never knew his name, but he's in everything.
yes, so he's in everything, and he's usually just like this really smarmy, slimy villain. The one thing that has always left a terrible impression on me is his role in Requiem for a Dream, and that is even years after when he plays Gus's dad on Psych, I'm still just like, ugh.
I'm not allowed to watch that movie.
You're nope. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, don't ever do it.
And I haven't. Everyone keeps saying don't, and to this day, I have not watched it.
Yeah, so he's a very extreme. There's a very very gross scene with him in it, and always it's just like for me, it's like every time I've seen him, I've never been able to shake that. And then a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to photograph him in concert because he was doing a bit of sorts at MCG Jazz, and afterwards I got to was it before or after he performed, I met him. I put away my fear and I was like, okay. And it was like a real thing for me. Like I really had to like
Did you tell him that?
Did I? I think I may have told him that, after Requiem, it's been awkward for me. So I had to muster up some courage to come back here, sir. But he was very nice and very gracious and just like a cool dude. And,
he has an awesome voice.
Yeah, he does. He has a great voice. So, I was able to shake those Requiem demons, at least for that film.
For the time being.
Right. Well, at least for, his character and him as an actor. I still have no plans on ever revisiting that film for anything. Like I would have to be being paid a large sum of money to watch that film again because it is a lot of fucking mental and emotional duress.
I'm good.
So anyways, so let's talk about Yaya, which I don't know if it was kind of unnecessary plot twist or whatever where she was concerned, but I love how enamored Ryan's character is.
In all the various sections, right. Too. Like every time he sees her, and it did not go unnoticed at the end when she was unconscious and he put that thing. He put the pillow. But he also got a handful of her hair.
Yes, because she rolls in. He's like, "You look stunning." He's like, how'd you get your hair to do that? It's magnificent."
And Russell Crowe, every time he does something weird, it's fantastic. How many different times did he do when he fell? Well, we need a whole section where we talk about the whorehouse. Party at the whorehouse where he gets drunk.
Oh my God. Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm looking for
something so subtle as him swimming by in that tank.
And then later when he references it, he was like, I was in the pool. I had to question the mermaids. What were you doing while I was working?
But the girl on the terrace, when he pretends to fall off of the balcony, but he actually fell
down the whole side of the hill.
And she just laughed.
Right, and leaves. And just like, she's like, that was great. And goes back to the party.
When Russell finds him and he's like, what? Did you fall down the hill? You fell down the hill. And then later it's like, you dropped the gun? Right. Or when he falls off the roof. You fell off the roof?
Right. Like you fell off the roof.
The cast is just so good. Just so good together. They work so well together. There was one scene that I actually had to rewind it because I was like, no, he did not do that. And it's Matt Bomer's character works for Yaya, I guess.
For or with
her associate.
I don't know. Somebody in Detroit. I keep talking about Detroit.
Yeah. And he's, I guess, the surgeon or something. And he has come to kill Amelia. And Holly lets him in. And Holly's friend, Janet, is it Janet or Jessica?
I think it's Jessica.
But he keeps calling her Janet.
Right.
she somehow gets in the way of Matt Bomer, and he straight up just chucks this little girl hard
Right.
out a window.
Yeah. Right through the window. Poor baby never saw it coming.
Nope. But her reaction later when they all, and she's just sitting there with an ice pack on her head, like, yeah. Now, how is she not screaming like, oh my God,
yeah.
I almost got killed?
Well, she should have learned her. I hope she learned her lesson, because Holly was telling her, she's like, Janet or whatever, I need you to fucking call 911. I need you to help me out here. I have a gun on this dude, and you're asking stupid questions. Like,
Your ass deserved to be thrown
exactly.
out that window.
Now you know. When Holly tells you to do something, you fucking do it.
Just like Amelia deserved to be shot in the face.
Right?
You dumbass. You were safe where you were.
Exactly. Like, when it happened, it was like, well, good. Like, it was because
And even Matt Bomer was like, okay. He's
right.
just dumb luck.
Right. He just dropped. He's like, he might as well be like, son of a bitch.
Right?
Ain't this about a bit? It's just and at some point, I probably, if I were Russell or Ryan, I would have, like, after she left or after the whole shootout at their house, I'm like, you know what? It ain't worth it. Come get her.
No.
She's here. Come get her. I don't even know why we're protecting her, actually.
Well, the minute she woke up and just started spouting out, I'm like, nope. Mm-mm. We're good. We're good.
Yes. And that was like a nice, like, I saw Matt Bomer. Is it Bomer or Bomber?
I always say Bomer. I don't know.
Well, I saw Matt's name in the opening credits, but then I was like, oh, cool. And then I forgot about him until he showed up again. And it's like a nice little surprise to see him in there, because I enjoy Matt a lot.
I do
on
too,
screen.
except it looked like he spent a lot of time watching Crispin Glover in
Yes.
Charlie's Angels.
Yes. That's what it was. I couldn't place, like, what, where have I seen this character before?
I just kept waiting for him to like sweep his hair
Right,
over,
or, like,
all weird,
Pull out a lock of hair.
and sniff it.
Oh no, I want to go watch Charlie's Angels. So yeah, and there are a couple of times, and I think at least 3 times, like, in these shootouts, at least 3 people, like, randomly in the background caught a stray
Get
bullet.
shot. The one is a lady
In her
across
apartment.
the way from Jack's apartment. She gets killed, I think, because it looked pretty bad.
Right.
The second was like the Groot looking thing
Yes.
at the party. He gets shot in the shoulder, I think. And then a couple of people possibly at the auto show.
Right, yes.
But they kept focusing on that old man who was like, somebody get me that fucking film. And I'm like, who are you and why do you want the movie so bad?
I think he was supposed to be a muckety muck. Yeah, he's Detroit, basically. Like, he's some higher up that they were, and I think they were parodying him in the film.
Okay.
Because there was an old guy in the film, and then when they showed the old guy, then they showed that old guy, and he looked distressed about it. So yeah, I mean, I guess the whole thing is that this film was supposed to be, it was disguised as a porn film, but what actually was is calling out the pollution of the auto industry, which I don't understand why this many people would want to kill somebody for it. Like,
right?
It's not like it. But maybe maybe this is the thing. In 1977, it was a big deal. Like 2021, someone's like, "Hey, where the autos are polluting the air," and we're like, "No shit."
No shit.
But in like 1977 in LA, it's probably like a news flash. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll go ahead and do that.
Maybe, I guess.
But still, it's not the reason why you come for this film. Like,
No.
the reason is for Ryan and Russell. And did you happen to see, like, the promotional stuff that Ryan and Russell were doing leading up to this film?
No.
I encourage you, and hopefully, like, there's still some lingering on YouTube somewhere, where they're like going to, Ryan and Russell are going to couples counseling. because they just can't get along since the film and all that kind of stuff. And some of the shit is hilarious.
And I forgot about the scene where he finds Sid Shattuck when he's trying to light his cigarette at the bottom of that, and the flame like lights up his dead body, and he starts calling for Jack, and he's screaming for him to come down.
Yes.
I don't know how they got any work done.
I don't know.
Because I would have just been cracking up the entire time.
Because there's this the moment like once Jack does come out there and he finds him and they're like, okay, this is what happened. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go throw up, and then we'll go hide we'll get rid of the body.
They did the worst thing with it.
Right. They just dropped it on like a table full of people.
And it looked like a wedding reception. Like, did they not look down before they threw it? But he's so Forrest Gump's everything. Like, he rolls down the hill, he lost his gun. So he has to start looking for his gun. When he's on the rooftop, Keith David meets a really nasty end.
Mm-hmm. Like,
he luckily ends up in the pool.
Right.
Where he sees Nixon and flips out. And that's when I can't tell if some of these things are happening to him for real or if he's having dreams like in the car with the bumblebee.
I assume the Nixon thing is a dream because they had that conversation. And when he tells him that story, he's like, so different people can have different perspectives. He's like, yeah, so why don't you just fucking say that? You take me down this long, epic story.
They play so well off each other.
They do. This is like really great casting. I don't.
But I loved it. And he even pulls off this mustache that he has. Like, normally I'm not a mustache fan, but Ryan can work a mustache and that 70s suit.
Yeah, apparently. Like, I had no idea. Like, it was still very, very becoming.
There's too many funny scenes in this movie. I forgot about when the blue-faced man kidnaps Holly. And he's driving that stolen car and he wrecks it into the side of the hill.
And loses his shit when it won't start.
He just starts screaming. A lot of physical comedy from Ryan in this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of physical comedy. Like they're in a shootout and Russell asked him to throw him a gun. And he threw it straight up out the window. Right out the window.
Yeah, this is basically, and again, you give props to the actors for pulling it off well, but this is basically Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but still, enjoyable. They're set at different times. There's sort of kind of different plots. There's still like some schizoid porn something underlined somewhere along the way for whatever reason, Shane. But it's kind of the same thing. And I think Shane must really have a hard-on for Christmas because Kiss Kiss takes place at Christmas. Iron Man 3 is at Christmas. And then at the end of this movie, I'm pretty sure it's Christmas because there's a Christmas song when they're in the bar when Jack is drunk at the very end. And I think there's a Christmas tree in the background. They're like in a Mexican restaurant.
How weird. That kid at the very beginning in the one scene in the movie that I don't understand at all.
Yes.
The kid is from Iron Man 3.
Yes. And supposedly, Robert Downey Jr. has an uncredited cameo in this, but I didn't see him. I didn't see him. I couldn't tell at all where he was.
I know one thing. 70s cops suck. Why do they always show up 20 minutes after? Like, they're having a full-on shootout at Ryan's house.
Right.
Machine guns.
Right.
Neighbors aren't coming out. Nobody's screaming. This is a quiet. I don't understand why. I would have been like, what's going on? Somebody called cops.
Well, maybe it's just difficult. It's the Hollywood Hills. Like, you see how long it took them to get up there.
That's true.
Also, like, those cars in the 70s were heavy fuckers. They weren't chugging uphill very easily.
Oh, stupid Amelia.
So, yeah. So, Some of the fun facts about this film is that, I mean, there really isn't that much. I mentioned a couple of things before. There's a lot of stuff, and I didn't feel like, really getting too deep into it on IMDb about like, oh shit, this scene was directly like these are the same lines that were in this movie and blah blah blah, which made it sound like to me that Shane just did a lot of cut and paste with a lot of things, because like I think like one of the scenes in the bar where they're looking in another bar where they're looking for Amelia, and the bartender's like, what are you gonna do for me? And Ryan's like, give us the info and he'll stop doing it. And I think that was also from Iron Man 3.
Okay. I did not know that.
Right. So, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there. And it's like, oh, and this is a nod to this, and this is to this, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, all right, I mean, can we have an original idea? Like, I don't... like,
I did like how he pasted, like, what, Commodores? Like
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Or Earth, Wind, and Fire, yes.
I know.
I was like, oh, that was good. And then at the auto show, like that original clip of the auto show kind of, or he just made it look like film.
Right. Yeah.
I liked that.
Another explanation that I saw, like at the beginning when Ryan is in the gas station, in line for the gas station, the signage at the fuel station showing even refers to the 1979 rationing of fuel to the vehicles with number plates that end in even or odd numbers on alternating even or odd numbered days. For example, if today is April 3rd and your number plate has ABC 827, you can fill your car on that day. Some states allowed both even and odd numbers on 31st of the month.
Wow.
Yeah. And I guess
we think we've had it tough.
Right.
Every generation's got their shit.
Exactly. And I guess that's another that was probably put in there to just further emphasize the smog problem in LA and what's going on. When they find Amelia's protest group, and he's like, why do you think she's here? Is this her protest group? But this is her protest group.
He's so annoyed by like them not like so stupid.
Right, exactly. It's like we're dead, man. Like
we can't talk to you.
Right, you're dead, but so the gas mask didn't help. So.
I really don't understand the very first scene. I just don't get it.
I think it was just probably a very elaborate excuse because that was Misty Mountains.
Is that how she died?
Yeah.
But did all of her clothes just explode off of her?
Right. Yeah. There's somebody.
Why was she naked?
Somebody thought that was cute because the little boy was just looking at her centerfold, and that's the exact same position that she was in the centerfold. Like,
that's not cute.
No, it's not. It's like it's trashy. Like y'all could have left that.
In this day and age, when you're probably looking at your phone while you're watching a movie, you look up, you're like, why did all her clothes fall off?
Exactly. It's like there's no way. I don't see any. Like, was she already undressed? Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't make. You just wanted to see her boobs.
Right. That's just call it what it is. The soundtrack was pretty, like bits and pieces here and there of the 70s, which is nice. Always do appreciate some stuff like that. The star rating, 1 to 5. The movie, I will give it a 4.
That's hard because I really enjoyed it, but if we're talking solely based on plot, story,
right,
and execution, yeah, I'm thinking maybe a 3.5 to a 4.
Right, exactly. But I think originally I was doing 3.5, but Ryan and Russell, they kick it up that extra
gold
0.5 for me, so I give it a 4. I'm not comfortable giving it a 5, but definitely a 4.
There is a Christmas tree behind them in the bar at the end.
Okay, yeah.
Which that scene also cracked me up when he was like, "I'm sorry, you look Latino." Or was it Filipino?
Filipino. And he said that Ryan looked Latino, and I forget what it was, but Ryan looked like, I forget who he looked like in that drawing. But according to IMDb, that's also like stolen from like the Rockford Files or something. His ad.
Oh, really?
Like I guess like the wording is also like kind of the same, and that's kind of like that. And it's also like how when his daughter is like reading him the riot act, he's like, "I got a cool ad though," and he points to the ad on the fridge.
I would love. This is the first time I've said this about a Ryan movie. Is I wish there was a sequel to this.
So
I
does
would love to
Russell.
see these characters in the 80s.
Right. Well, originally this was supposed to be a television show. It was pitched as such, but because the plot wasn't going anywhere, quote, they decided to go ahead and make it a show or a movie. And Russell Crowe also said that this was like the only the second film that he's been in that he wished there was a sequel because he'd like to play that character again. The other being L.A. Confidential.
Well, let's get on it. You could even set it in the 90s. That would be hilarious.
Right. Come on, guys. What's the harm? Let's just.
They're both fine. They're both looking okay.
Yeah.
They're both acting. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I would like to see where, they partner up at the end of this movie. So I'd like to see where that partnership leads on to. Like how does it bolster? How does it grow? Or have they had too many problems with each other? Like, can Jack just not take it anymore? Like, he's sick of Holland's stuff mess.
The scene where he's in the bowling alley and he confronts him in the stall and he's trying to pull up his pants.
That is gold. That is
such gold.
Talk about
such gold. I don't know how his dick didn't fall out.
Talk about physical comedy, man. Like that is just like yeah, for example, that is perfection. Like I had tears in my eyes when that scene came on. It's so funny. It is just finally he's off the fumbling and finally he's just like, fuck it. He's like, turn around.
He's like, turn around. There's a mirror, right?
Close your eyes.
So good.
So after being reminded of that, I give Ryan a 5.
Yeah.
For this
he gets a 5 for sure. But the screeching, the combination of the screeching, his complete lack of a father-child relationship,
right
with that daughter.
It's like I don't think that's how fathers are supposed
not
to
how fathers act. And then him swimming by in that pool. And the balcony, pretending to be shot off the balcony and actually falling down the hill. Like, I guffawed.
Yes. I love the fact that that's all there was to it in the pool thing. Like, that's all we see. It just like in the background, he just swims by.
He just swims by.
And then later, he's still wet. But like, that's it.
And he mentions it.
Right.
Which is so funny. Why were you wet?
It's like somebody had to question the mermaids. Like, God, that's... I could
and his interview techniques. The one go-go dancer, he's like, she's tall and has dark, hair like yours, but she's wearing clothes. And then was it the auto show when the bartender was like, "What can I get you?" And he was like, "Nothing, man." And he was like, "Free drinks. What can I get you?" I was like, "No, this is how you end up swimming in a pool and falling off a balcony. No drinks for you."
Right. So all he had to do was say free drinks. I was like, oh, well, in that case, yes. I will have several. Line them up, please. My good man.
You are on the clock. But then again, if he were sober, he'd probably die through half of the things that he got.
Yes, because he was convinced that he was invincible. Mm-hmm. Which, nope, you were just super drunk when you fell over all of these things, thus relaxing your body. So you weren't able to break anything major. And there was also like the point where Kim Basinger is hiring them and she's writing out a check for $10,000 and he's like, "We won't do it for anything less than 5." And she's like, "Okay." And then she rips up her $10,000 check.
Just idiot. Idiot.
Are we down to watch again? Yes, I would.
Yes.
I would absolutely watch this again. This might even be one of those. This might be like a day changer. Like if it was on TV.
Yep.
And I was just like, "Yep, this is what I'm doing now."
Yep. I would not turn it off.
Right.
That's how funny he was.
Yes, because it's always, and it's never just like, because sometimes there are movies where it's like, oh, this part, like, this is the really funny part. But no, it's like continual. Like, I will like stick around and like, because there's a new scene and some new antics that he's doing, and it's always hilarious. Mm-hmm. Where to watch? It was free on Hulu, where I watched it. I do own it already, but I didn't have to get up off the couch to change the channel.
No, me neither. I own it.
Just why
and I'm glad I own it.
Yes. Does it pass the Bechdel test? It does have at least 2 named women in it, but I don't think any of them actually talk to each other.
No, and the only scene I can.
Like, I know Yaya and Kim were in a scene together, but I
Well,
don't.
Holly and Jessica are in that scene together and they're but Jessica is on the phone trying to remember John Boy's name.
Right.
And then Holly's talking to that one porn star at the apartment and they're talking about anal.
Which, super inappropriate. I was a little.
Super inappropriate. Don't say and stuff. I don't think it passes.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
No.
All right, the Gosling gauge. There's certain types of characters that Ryan tends to gravitate towards. And does he sing or dance? Yes, he sings. I feel like there was room for him to dance at some point.
Especially at Sid's party.
Yes, totally. Like once he was drunk, like there should have been a dance scene. Like
there should have, for sure.
I almost
maybe there's a deleted scene.
Right, exactly. I feel like there's got to be a deleted scene. Is his character in a tragic relationship? I wouldn't call it tragic. Any of his relationships, they're
I wouldn't call it tragic. He's
unconventional.
Yeah.
But
barely functioning.
Right. But no, not tragic. Unless you want, yeah. Okay. And is his character eccentric? Not particularly. He's just a fuck up, kind of.
No, he's a straight shooter.
He's just drunk a lot.
Doesn't really like a lot of malarkey.
Which I can appreciate. Did
he in the very beginning he mentions that his wife was English.
Right.
And that she was talking about rumpy pumpy and he had no idea what that meant. He's just an endearing kind of buffoon.
Right.
Not eccentric.
Does he disappear into his character?
No, because it's just Ryan. Like it's a little bit of Ryan.
Right, because we've seen a lot of this stuff before, like the screeching, the scraping, a lot of the stuff we've seen, and it's not like none of it is particular to this character. I don't think. And
I don't think so either.
Character smug level 3, because he's kind of like he's pretty.
It's weird.
He's pretty upfront about how much of a coward he is. Oh God! Like the scene where they go into the hotel and they get off the elevator, or they peek out of the elevator.
And that person was being shot.
Yes, and then they just calmly go back into the elevator, and then as they're going down, there's a dude falling out of the window, and Ryan or Holland is quivering, like his whole body is trembling.
So funny. Oh, so good, so good, so good.
So yeah, I wouldn't say he's not very smug. There are moments of smugness because I've got a cool ad though. That's
or when he had the gall to ask for $400 a day.
Right.
From Russell. That was a little smug.
Yeah.
But there was moments of smugness, but overall kind of low.
Yeah.
A 3, you're right.
Now it's time for readings from the Book of Gosling, the book that is titled 100 Reasons to Love Ryan Gosling. Number 71. He has great taste in t-shirts. In addition to his pro-gay marriage t-shirt, Rygos has been papped wearing both a Darfur and a Macaulay Culkin t-shirt, proving that he's keen to show his support for the vulnerable. Why has Macaulay got to be vulnerable? Number 72. He likes knitting. I did this scene in Lars and the Real Girl where I was in a room full of old ladies who were knitting, and it was an all-day scene, so they showed me how. Aw. It was one of the most relaxing days of my life. If I had to design my perfect day, that would be it. And you get something out of it at the end. You get a nice present for someone who wants an oddly shaped, off-putting scarf. That's adorable. I would love to watch him knit.
Yeah, I would love that. That's really cute.
All right. So, in closing, we both very much enjoyed Nice Guys. And
very much.
I'll watch it again maybe this weekend because
it could happen. I could see it happening.
Like, it's so funny. It's so funny, especially if you got nothing else going on and you just want to put it on and just giggle and laugh. Next up, La La Land. All right, I have not seen La La Land. I've been avoiding La La Land for a long, long time.
I've seen it. I liked it. It's kind of depressing, but I liked it.
I mean, I just have this thing like there's musicals. Either I love them or I hate them, and there's only like a handful of musicals that I love. The rest of them just annoy the shit out of me.
I get to sing.
Yeah, just I don't. I think there's this line that I feel like it's going to cross, and it's going to drastically change my opinions about Ryan Gosling. All right, so I'm going on Instagram right now and looking up The Nice Guys. Which, isn't it just kind of a waste to make a whole page about a movie that's not... like, I don't know.
And there is an entire account.
Yeah. I mean, let's it's full of, there's a lot of little videos on here. I don't know. It might be something a little rabbit hole I can go down. Maybe next time I go to the bathroom, I'll check this out.
For sure. This is a route. Then there's lots of. This is a hole I'm going to fall down.
Yeah,
probably later this afternoon.
This is definitely something to check out. So it's The Nice Guys on Instagram. There's like 165 posts. It looks like 100 of them are videos. So it might be worth a perusal if you are into it. I didn't know it existed. So, but it'll be nice. All right, so join us next time when we talk about La La Land. We'll find out if Kahmeela can still look at Ryan in the face seriously after watching him dance around LA with fucking Emma What's-Her-Butt. Subscribe, follow, like us on all of the things. We're on Twitter at @down_watch. And yeah. Just get at us there. So like the podcast on those platforms, follow it on anchor.fm and Spotify. And thanks for listening. Until next time.